Good morning, my dear student. Today topic is integer. So far we are conversant with only two types of numbers, namely natural numbers and whole numbers. But in this chapter we shall extend our number system from whole numbers to integers. We shall discuss the representation of integer on the number line, operation on integer and their properties. In this chapter we will learn also different properties of integer like addition of integer, subtraction of integer, multiplication of integer and division of integer, and we try to solve out the different problems regarding this chapter. So let's start. Now dear student, here we understand the integer. We know that in numbers, when a smaller whole number is subtracted from a large one, we get a whole number. But what about 3 minus 5 comma here, 5 minus 8 comma here, 11 minus 16, etc. Clearly, there are no whole numbers to represent them. So, there is a need to extend our whole number system so as to contain numbers to represent the above differences. Corresponding to natural numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. We introduce new numbers denoted by minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, minus 6, and so on, called minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, minus 6, and so on respectively, such that here 1 plus in bracket minus 1 is equal to 0, 2 plus in bracket minus 2 is equal to 0, 3 plus in bracket minus 3 is equal to 0, and so on. We say that minus 1 and 1 are the opposite of each other. Minus 2 and plus 2 are the opposite of each other. Minus 3 and plus 3 are the opposite of each other, and so on. Thus, our new collection together with whole numbers becomes minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. These numbers are called integer. The numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are called positive integer. Right? The numbers minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, minus 6, and so on are called negative integer. And 0 is an integer which is neither positive nor negative. Right, student? In our daily life, we come across statements opposite to each other. We use positive and negative integer for their representation. Suppose we understand by a given example. We know that the height of places are measured as distance from sea level. We shall represent a height of 5 km above sea level as plus 5 km or simply 5 km, right? And 5 km below sea level as we represent minus 5 km, right? Another example here, we know that the freezing point of water is 0 degree centigrade. We shall represent a temperature of 15 degrees centigrade above the freezing point of water as plus 15 degrees centigrade, or simply we represent 50 degrees centigrade. 50 degrees centigrade below the freezing point of water as minus 15 degrees centigrade. Right, student? I hope this introduction to integer you clearly understand. Now we try to understand their properties and operation on them. Good morning, dear student. Here we understand the addition of integers, right? So here we followed some rules that we easily understand addition of integers, right? The rule number 1 here, if two positive or two negative integers are added, we add their values regardless of their signs and give the sum of their common sign. Example number 1 here, example number 1. So add number 1 36 and 27, number 2 minus 31 and minus 25, right? So we have here, this is the solution, right? We have number 1 plus 36 plus 27, right? So as usual we do the addition. We follow this one 13 and carry 1, this one 6. So here plus sign. Now number 2 we add here minus 31 and minus 25, right? Here you borrowed minus 31, again you borrowed minus 25 here, okay? So in the two case you borrowed, so the total borrowed here minus this one 6 and this one 5, right? So this negative sign is a negative integer and this positive sign is a positive integer. So therefore we write number 1 36 plus 27 is equal to 63, right? And number 2 is minus 31, we use the first bracket, plus minus 25, we use the first bracket. It will become minus 56, right? Hope you understand very clearly, right, student? Now another rule number 2, to add a positive and a negative integer, we find the difference between their numerical values regardless of their signs and give the sign of the integer with the greater value to it. In order to add two integers of unlike sign, we see which is more and by know how much. Right. So here we understand by the given example. Example number 2. Example number 2. Okay. So we have given add number 1 minus 47 plus 18. Number 2 is given minus 29 first bracket plus 52. Right. So here we solve this problem. So using the rule of addition of integer with unlike sign, we have here minus solution number 1 minus 47 and plus 18. Right. So it will become this one how much? So we subtract from here to here, and because this minus sign is more than plus sign. Okay, so value of plus sign, right? So here we subtract and it will become this one 9, okay, and this one 2, because the plus sign value is less than minus sign value. So we use the minus sign here, right? Therefore we can write this one here. We write this one minus 47, right, plus 18 is equal to minus 29. Okay, now number 2 we solve like this way. So we have minus 29 and plus 52. Which sign is bigger than this sign? So plus 52 is, this value is more than minus 29. Okay, so it will become this one. Now here the student, here we write minus 29 and plus 52. So plus 52 is the more than minus 29. So we consider this one we write plus 52 minus 29. So it will become this one 3 and this one 2, right? So it will become 3 and this one 2, so plus 23. So this way we solve this problem. Therefore we write here minus 29 plus 52. Use the bracket here. It will become plus 23. This is the answer, right? I hope you clearly understand. Now dear student, here we understand properties of addition of integer. Number 1 properties, closure properties of addition. The sum of two integers is always an integer. Let's understand by the given example. Number 1 example is here. So here number 1, 5 plus 4, so is equal to 9, which is an integer, right? Student, number 2 here, 4 plus minus 8, it will become minus 4, because when we remove this bucket it will become minus. So minus sign is bigger than plus sign, so that is why minus integer is come. So here which is an also a negative integer and this one a positive integer, right? Number 3 Number 3, minus 3 bucket here plus minus 8. So here both are negative integer. By the closure properties we add them, then it will become find minus 11. It also an negative integer. Right, student? Number 4 here 15 plus minus 9. Right? So when we remove this bracket, that means became minus sign. So it will become here the positive sign is more than negative sign. So the positive sign will comes. That means 6 will comes. Now it is a positive integer. Right, student? Hence the sum of two integers is always an integers. Right, student? I hope this property you clearly understand. Right? Now, dear student, here we understand the second properties of addition of integer, that is commutative law of addition. If a and b are any two integers, then we can write a plus b is equal to b plus a. Right? It is be clear when we understand by example. Here the commutative law of addition, this one number 2. Which one? The commutative law of addition. Example number 1, minus 4 plus 9. It will become 5. Right? And we write here plus 9 plus minus 4. So this one also 5. So the two integers, so the commutative law of addition here. Therefore we write minus 4 plus 9 is equal to plus 9 plus minus 4. Right? Number 2, example number 2, here we write minus 5 plus minus 8. That means it became a minus 30. And minus 8 plus minus 5, it will become minus 13. Right? So both are same. So you can write therefore minus 5 plus minus 8 is equal to minus 8 plus minus 5. So here the two integers shows the commutative law of addition. I hope student the commutative law of addition you clearly understand. Now my dear student, the properties of addition of integers, there is another property is associative law of addition. associative law of addition. It is if a, comma b, comma c are any three integer, then we can write a plus b in bracket plus c is equal to a plus in bracket b plus c bracket close. It will be clear when we solve some example here. So associative law of addition, here we do the example number 3. So number 1, consider the integer, integers minus 6, right, minus 8, right, and 5, right. So we have minus 6, right, plus minus 8 plus 5. Here this bracket, second bracket we use here. So it will become minus 14 plus 5. That means minus 9. Now here another and minus 6 plus minus 8 and plus 5. It will become minus 6 plus minus 3. It will become minus 9, right. So similarly other example may be taken up here also. So here we write therefore curly bracket minus 6 plus minus 8 curly bracket close plus 5 is equal to minus 6 plus curly bracket minus 8 plus 5 curly bracket close. So this shows the associative law of addition. Okay, it is possible the properties of addition of integer, right. I hope you clearly understand this one. My dear student, here we understand the another property of addition of integer is existence of additive identity. For any integer a, we have a plus 0 is equal to 0 plus a is equal to a. So 0 is called the additive identity for integers. Suppose here we give the example for better understanding. Okay, so number 1, 9 plus 0, it is equal to 0 plus 9, that means 9, right. Number 2, minus 6 plus 0 is equal to 0 plus minus 6 is equal to minus 6. Right. So this is the existence of additive identity. So that means the addition of integer follow this existence of addition identity rules. Right. I hope you clearly understand this portion. Right, student? Dear student, here we understand the another property of addition of integer. It is existence of additive inverse. Right. For any integer a, comma, we have a plus first bracket minus a is equal to minus a first bracket plus a is equal to 0. To opposite of an integer a is in bracket minus a. The sum of an integer and its opposite is 0. Additive inverse of a is minus a. Similarly, additive inverse of minus a is a. It will be clear when we understand by the given example. Example number 4. Number 1, we have 5 plus minus 5. It will be minus 5 plus 5 is equal to 0. So the additive inverse of 5 is minus 5. Right. And the additive inverse of minus 5 is 5. Clear, student? I hope you understand very clearly. Now, my dear student, here we understand the subtraction of integer. For any integer a and v, we define number 1, a minus b is equal to a plus in bracket additive inverse of b is equal to a plus in bracket minus v. Number 2, a minus in bracket minus b bracket close is equal to a plus in third bracket additive inverse of first bracket minus b bracket first bracket close third bracket close. Here is equal to a plus b. That means in summary we can write number 1 a minus v is equal to a plus minus v. Number 2, a minus in first bracket b bracket close here is equal to a plus b. Here what do we understand by the given example? Example number 1. So subtract subtract number 1 9 from 4, number 2 minus 8 from 5, number 3 7 plus 7 from minus 6. Right, student? So here we solve this problem. Now first one, we have the solution. We have number 1 4 minus 9. That means it will 4 plus minus 9. It will become minus 5. Right? Number 2 5 minus 8 is equal to 5 plus 8 is equal to 13. This is the answer and this is the answer, right? Number 3, here number 3 is where given minus 5 plus 7 here, 7 plus 7 here, and 7 from minus 6. So we arrange them here, minus 6 minus 7. So it will become minus 6 plus minus 7. That means minus 13 is the answer. I hope you clearly understand. Student, here we understand the subtraction of integer by the given example. Here given number 1, a pair of integer whose sum is minus 8. So number 2, a pair of integer whose difference is minus 12. Number 3, a pair of integer whose sum is 0. Number 4, a negative integer and a positive integer whose sum is minus 6. And number 5, a negative integer and a positive integer whose difference is minus 4. So let's try to understand clearly. Here example number 2. Number 1 says a pair of integer whose sum is minus 8. So we have minus 3 plus minus 5. It will become minus 8. So a pair of integer like minus 3 is the integer and minus 5 is the integer whose sum is minus 8. So it is clear. Number 2 says a pair of integer whose difference is minus 12. A pair of integer minus 15 is the integer and the difference with minus 3. So difference will be minus 3. So it will become minus 15 plus 3, that means minus 12. So here a pair of integer whose difference is equal to minus 12. Number 3, we understand a pair of integer whose sum is 0. a pair of integer whose sum like minus 8, or you can take first plus 8 and minus 8, their sum will be 0, right? Number 4 here, a negative integer and a positive integer whose sum is minus 6. So here we write minus 8 is a negative integer and a positive integer is 2, right? Its sum will be minus 6, right student? Number 5, a negative integer and a positive integer whose difference is minus 4. That means minus 1 is a negative integer, right? And minus 3 is a negative integer. Their sum will be minus 4. Sorry, their difference minus 4. So we have a negative integer minus 1 and a positive integer whose difference is minus 4, right? I hope you clearly understand. Okay student, here we understand the properties of subtraction of integer. Number 1 properties is closure property of subtraction. If a and b are any two integer, then first bracket a minus b bracket close is always an integer. Let's try to understand by the given example. Example number 1. It is, we understand closure properties of subtraction. Number 1 is given here, 2 minus 5 is equal to 2 plus minus 5. It will become minus 3, which is an integer, right student? Number 2 example, minus 2 in bracket minus 6 is equal to minus 2 plus minus 6. That means it will become minus 8, which is an negative integer, right? Number 3, here 3 minus minus 5 in bracket is equal to 3 plus 5 minus 5, okay, is equal to 8, which is an positive integer, right? Number 4, here minus 4 minus 6, it will become minus 4 plus 6, that means plus 2 is an positive integer, right student? I hope you clearly understand. Let's see another, the subtraction. Okay student, now the another properties, subtraction of integers is not associative. Okay, so let's try understand by the given example. Consider example number 3. Number 1, consider the integers 3 comma minus 4 and minus 5. Okay, we have curly bracket 3 minus 4, close the curly bracket, minus 5 is equal to 3 minus plus 4, right, and minus 5. Okay, that means it will become 7 minus 5. It will become 7 plus 5, that means 12, right? And we arrange 3 minus curly bracket minus 4 minus 5, this one minus 5, close curly bracket, it will become 3 minus curly bracket minus 4, this one plus 5. Okay, so it will become 3 minus 1, right? So we can write this one became 2, right? So therefore we can write 3 minus 4 curly bracket minus 5 not equal to 3 minus curly bracket minus 4 minus 5 curly bracket close. So here subtraction of integer, it not show associative properties. I hope student you clearly understand this property. Let's try some example that we solve regarding this. Example number 3. Write a pair of integer whose difference gives number 1 0. So consider the 5 and 5 both are integer, right? So clearly 5 minus 5 is equal to 0, right? Number 2 here a negative integer. So here consider 4 and 6 are two integer. Then 4 minus 6 is equal to 4 plus minus 6 is equal to minus 2, which is an negative integer, right? Which is an negative integer, right? That means here the two integer whose difference gives a negative integer. Now number 3 example, an integer smaller than both of the integer. Okay, so consider minus 6 and 4 both are integer, right? So here minus 6 minus 4 is equal to 4 is equal to minus 6 plus minus 4 is equal to minus 10, right? So which is an negative integer. Thus we get an integer smaller than both the integer, right? So here we write there, thus we get an integer smaller than both the integers, right? Number 4, an integer greater than both the integers. So consider number 4, consider plus 5 and minus 3 are two integers, right? Then we can write 5 minus 3. It will become 5 plus 3 is equal to 8. So thus we get an integer greater than both the integers, right? So another example, 5, an integer greater than only one of the integers. So here consider minus 5 and minus 2, both are integer. Then minus 5 minus 2 is equal to minus 5 plus 2 is equal to minus 3. Clearly here minus 3 greater than minus 5, but minus 3 is not greater than minus 2, greater than minus 2, right? So here we understand that some given example, a pair of integer whose difference are given. Hope you clearly understand all given example and their solution. Now dear student, in the last portion of this video, we understand some problem and their solution. Here problem number 1 is given, the sum of two integers is minus 11. If one of them is 9, find the other. So the solution regarding this problem we solve out here. Let the other integer be a. Then we can write 9 plus a is equal to minus 11. Implies that a is equal to minus 11, and this will transpose in the left hand side. The plus sign became minus sign. Right. Now we follow the integers rules. Then we arrange it minus 11 and plus minus 9. So it will become minus 20. So therefore A is equal to minus 20. Hence the other integer is minus 20. This is the answer. Right, student? I hope this math you understand very well. Now problem number 2. Problem number 2 is given here. The difference of an integer a and minus 5 is minus 3. Find the value of a. So we have the solution a minus 5 is equal to minus 3, implies that a is equal to a plus 5 is equal to minus 3, implies that a is equal to minus 3 minus 5. Right. So we can write this one, implies that a is equal to minus 3 plus minus 5. It will become a is equal to minus 8. Hence a is equal to minus 8. This is the answer regarding this problem. I hope you clearly understand. So my dear student, I hope entirely the addition of integer and subtraction of integer and their properties you clearly understand. So you subscribe my channel, like and share with your friend, and watch again and again this video. It helps to increase your concept about the integer. So let's see the next part of this chapter. Thank you for watching. See you next time.